Hello and welcome to my basics series of bite-sized hints and tips for your Samsung Galaxy S4 and Android phones in general. We start the series with swiping down from the top of your phone to display settings and notifications. At the top of this display there are a range of settings you can change, and if you swipe this bar from left to right you can cycle through many different options. But if you're likely to use some options more often, you can reorder them so they are at the beginning of a navigation bar. You can do this by pressing the small option in the top right of the screen. This will display all your settings, and from here you can press on the pencil icon to take you to the notification panel screen. To reorder an option, long press on it until you pick it up and then drag it to your desired location. If you drop it fully on another option that's already there, they will swap positions. So now if I swipe down from the top of a list, I can see the flight mode option, while sound has been sent to the end of a list. You can also pick up a setting and place it in between two others. That squeezes the option into the list while shoving everything else after it further on in the list. So in this example, I have brought air gesture up the list and everything else has moved on one spot. Obviously you can move everything around as much as you like, but there is no reset to default option, so try to remember where you've put everything. Here's one of those Android tricks you just stumble upon when you're tinkering about with your device. If you swipe down from the top of the screen, you will find settings options at the top. You can tap on each of these to turn the setting on or off. So here I'm tapping on the Bluetooth button to turn it on and scan for other Bluetooth devices. It's the same with Wi-Fi, sound, GPS, driving mode and so on. Tap it to turn it on or off. But this is where the trick comes in. Not only can you tap on each setting, you can also long press on each setting, and doing this will take you to the settings page for that option. So if I long press on sound, I'm taken to the sounds settings screen where I can choose ringtones, individual volume levels and so on. And this is the same for each setting. A long press will either take you to the main settings page for that option or describe the option in more detail, such as S-Beam. Obviously there are many ways to get to the options settings screens, but this is the quickest way to do it because you can access it from any screen or application simply by swiping down from the top of the phone. If you're willing to forego security on your phone, lock screens can now be used to launch applications directly. In this example, pressing the power button displays a lock screen with 5 applications along the bottom that I can launch. Now because the phone is still technically locked, you have to do a little more than simply pressing the app. What you must do is press the app and swipe at the same time so that simultaneously unlocks the phone and launches the application. When you exit the application, you'll be returned to your phone's home screen. So let's see how to do it. First, you will need to go to the settings of your phone. Once you are here, there is a tab at the top called My Device. Press on that. And at the very top of this screen is an option called Lock Screen. In the lock screen settings, the option you want is Shortcuts, and this has a toggle. You can turn it on or off. If you press on the actual Shortcuts bar, this will take you to another screen where you can then choose the applications you want to use at the bottom of your lock screen. To remove an application that's already on the list, simply long press on it to pick it up and then drag it towards the bottom of the screen to remove it. A plus icon will appear, and if you press on that, you can choose from the list of all your applications on the phone to replace it. In this example, I've used iPlayer. So now when I unlock the phone, you will see that the iPlayer icon has replaced the Facebook icon. You can have a maximum of 5 applications, and just to repeat, this only works if your phone doesn't have any security on its lock screen. The lock screen acts more and more like a home screen these days. Not only can you have applications along the bottom of a lock screen, but you can, if you swipe from right to left, display a whole page of your favourite applications. Launching any of these applications is the same as unlocking the phone, so once you exit the application, you are taken to the phone's home screen. But if you don't want an applications page, you can change it if you want to, and here's how you do that. First, you will need to go to the settings on your phone. In settings, there is a tab at the top of the screen called My Device. Press on that and then choose Lock Screen. Now on this page, the option you want is Lock Screen Widgets. Press on that option to take you to the relevant screen. The top option is Favorite Apps or Camera. You can toggle this on or off, but if you actually press on the bar, it will take you into another screen where you can actually choose whether you want the applications page or a camera launcher. With the camera option chosen, if I swipe from right to left on the lock screen, this will automatically launch a camera, so it is now ready to take pictures, without ever having to unlock the actual phone. If you prefer the applications list, however, you can edit that list so you can choose all your favourite applications. On the page, there is an icon which looks like a pencil in the bottom right hand corner. If you press that, small marks will appear against each icon, and if you press on that mark, it will delete the application. Then a plus sign appears. Press on that and you can choose a brand new application which will then appear in the list. So I can, if I want to, put a camera launcher in this applications list. To finish editing, press the pencil again, and there you are. More useful options from your locked phone. Just one word of caution, this feature only works if you don't have any security settings applied to your lock screen. If you have something interesting on the screen of your phone, you might want to take a screenshot, and all devices can do this these days. But the functionality is a little different on each device, so here's how to do it on a Samsung Galaxy S4. All you need to do is press the physical home button and the physical power button on the side of a phone at the same time until a screenshot is taken. So in this example, I will demonstrate by holding down both buttons. When you do this, a sound will indicate that the picture has been taken. A notification will also appear at the top of the screen to tell you a screenshot has been taken. To look at this screenshot, simply swipe down from the top of the phone and there you will see a snapshot of your picture. If you press on it, it will take you to the gallery application where you can see the picture in full, as demonstrated here. Once you've finished looking at the picture, that notification will be removed from your phone. So if I swipe down from the top of the screen again, you can see that there is no snapshot of the screenshot. If you do need to see the picture again, what you will need to do is go to your applications drawer and then go to the gallery application. In the gallery, there will be a folder called Screenshot, and this is where all the pictures are saved whenever you take a screenshot on your mobile phone. And so if I press on this folder, I can see that I've taken 2 screenshots of my phone. Screenshots can be taken in any application, and if you notice, a white border appears when you take the screenshot as well as a noise. As you can see, the notification appeared at the top of the screen. Swipe down and I can look at a snapshot of the screenshot I've just taken. And that is your quick guide to taking screenshots on your Samsung Galaxy S4. First of all, let me explain what the ear notification dock is. If you plug earphones into the Samsung Galaxy S4 or any Android smartphone device, it will detect this by displaying a message in the notification tray. If you then swipe down from the top of the screen to display notifications, there will be a dock of applications at the top of the screen called Recommended Shortcuts for Earphones. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't see why a web browser, my text messages, or the BBC News application would be of any relevance when I have headphones plugged in. The dock seems to simply display popular applications that you use, and unfortunately there's no way to edit the dock. You can, however, turn this dock off, but it does require a bit of digging around in the settings. So go to your settings, and then in the top right hand corner, press on the More tab. On this screen, there is an option called Application Manager. Press on that. Once you're on the Application Manager page, swipe to the right twice to display all the applications on your device. Now on this list you'll have to scroll a very long way down until you reach an option called Page Buddy Noti SVC. If you press on that, you will go into the Application Settings page and you need to disable the application. Now this is a built-in system application and it will affect other areas of your phone, and I'll show you which ones in just a second. Once you disable the application, if you scroll down from the top of the screen with headphones plugged in, you can now see that there is no earphone dock. To get the dock to appear again, you would have to re-enable the application and then restart the phone. Now for a slightly advanced tip, if you have Nova Launcher, you can control this option a little more accurately. So long press on the home screen and then create a shortcut. You want to create an activities shortcut, which is the first option. Now again, this is going to be a huge list of applications, so you want to scroll all the way down the list to Settings, which will create another long list, and then you want to scroll all the way down this list until you find an option called Page Buddy. Once you've found it, press it, and this will create a shortcut on your home screen called Page Buddy Settings. Now if you press on this option, this is where you can control not only the earphone dock, but also some other settings which are to do with the Page Buddy. Read the Page Buddy help for more information. So in this example, if I untick the earphones page, now if I look at the notification dock, it's disappeared. If I quickly check it again, we can see that when I swipe down from the top of the screen, the earphones dock has reappeared. If you do use this option, you don't have to restart the phone either. You will soon find that your home screen fills up with applications as you download them from the Google Play App Store. Thankfully, you can sort these into folders so you can better manage them, and here's how to do it with the Samsung default software. If you long press on one of the applications, you can pick it up and move it about the screen. If you drag it over another application, it will simply push it to the side, so at the moment these are all individual icons. If you long press on an empty part of the screen, you will get a few options, and one of these is to create a folder. So if you press on that and then name the folder, you will create a blank folder with no applications in it, like this. So now I have a folder in the top left hand corner of the home screen called Social, and all I need to do to put applications into that folder is long press on an application icon to pick it up, drag it into that folder, and then drop it on top. In this example, I have dragged two of my Facebook applications and a Twitter application into the Social folder. Another way to start creating a folder is to long press on an application and drag it up to the top left hand corner of the home screen where there will be a Create Folder option. So now I have created an email folder. And just like applications, you can long press on the folder to move it around the screen. You can access a folder by simply tapping on it, and then if you want to remove applications, again long press on the icon you want to pick up and then drag it outside of a folder. So now I have removed the Twitter application from the folder. I will continue to remove applications, which will leave me with a blank Social folder once again. So that's how to create and manage folders using the default Samsung software. But many of you will download different launchers, and the more common way to create folders is to simply long press on an application and drop it on top of another application which will automatically create a folder, like this demonstration in the Nova launcher. When I dropped one application on top of another, I automatically created a folder. Then if I pick up the application and drag it outside of a folder, it automatically disbands as demonstrated. And finally, if you try and drag a folder on top of another folder, you'll simply move them out of the way. Beyond the touchscreen, the Galaxy S4 has a physical home button and two touch buttons that illuminate when the device is being used. On the left is a context menu button, and on the right is the back button. You can change the settings so they stay illuminated for longer or shorter periods, and here's how to do it. First of all, go to the settings screen. Then choose the My Device tab at the top of the screen and next select Display. In this screen you'll have to scroll down to the bottom where you'll find a More Settings area, and the option you want is Touch Key Light Duration. There are 4 options to choose from, so for example if I choose 1.5 seconds the buttons will disappear very quickly, like that. The 3 alternative options are 6 seconds light duration, Always Off, which means that the buttons are never illuminated, or Always On, which means that the buttons are always illuminated when the touch screen is on. So in this example, I've now chosen 6 seconds, which is my preferred choice. But you can choose whatever option you like to accommodate your preferences. I'll apologise in advance for the next 2 minutes of double entendres. Vibrating phones have been around for decades, but now you can configure and customise those vibrations to suit your needs. Go to the settings screen and choose the My Device tab and then select the sound option. The first thing you can do once you're on this screen is to adjust the vibration intensity for incoming calls, notifications and haptic feedback when you tap on the screen. Here's a quick demonstration of the most intense vibrations that the Samsung Galaxy S4 can do. Notifications are 2 sharp beats of vibration. And haptic feedback are short single stabs of vibration when you do things like typing on the keyboard and pressing the back button. You can, however, select a custom vibration style for incoming calls. Now, if none of them take your fancy, you can even create your own vibration style by selecting the Create button and then tapping and pressing the screen like this. Once you've finished vibrating, so to speak, press the Save button, name your vibration, and then select it to test it. If you want to remove a vibration you have created, you will need to select a different vibration, back out of the screen, and then return to the screen, long press on the vibration you created, and then delete it. And if you've managed to keep a straight face throughout this video, thumbs up. Developer Options is a hidden screen that opens up some funky options to play with, at your own risk, I might add. Here's how to access it. Go to the Settings page and then choose the More tab in the top right hand corner of the screen. On this page you want to select the option at the bottom labelled About Device. At the bottom of the list is the build number of your device. Tap here several times and you will start to see a message that says you are X steps away from being a developer. Continue to tap here and the following message appears. Developer mode is enabled. When you back out of this screen, you will now see a new option has appeared above About Device, which is the developer mode. There are lots of things you can do on a developer screen, such as turning on visual feedback on touches, changing the transition speeds, displaying CPU data on screen, and much more. But just to warn you again, playing about with developer options has its risks and can adversely affect the performance of your phone, so do some more research if you don't know what these options can do. Here's how to find 2 Easter eggs in the Android operating system for your Galaxy S4. First of all, go to Settings. On this screen, the option at the top right hand corner, the other tab, press on that, then scroll to the bottom of this list and press About Device. Now in this screen, there is a line that tells you what your Android version is, and if you just tap that about 4 or 5 times very quickly, a Jellybean will appear. That's the first Easter egg. The second Easter egg is to long press on that Jellybean and it will turn into 100 little Jellybeans which you can then fling across the screen at your heart's content. Flash is used to watch media, play games and do fancy things on websites. It's slowly being phased out and you don't need it nearly as much as you used to. But if you want to fix issues like this, where websites request Flash, here's what you need to do because the Samsung Galaxy S4 doesn't come with Flash pre-installed. First, do a Google search for archived Flash player. The first result in the list should be the Adobe website, where you can download the latest official version safely. I will provide links in the description too, just in case you can't find it. On this page, scroll down to the list of files labelled Flash Player for Android 4.0. Press on the top link to download the latest version. When the download has finished, you should be able to swipe down from the top of the screen and press the downloaded file to start installing it. Now at this point you may encounter a warning that says you can't install applications obtained from unknown sources. That's not a problem, however, because if you press Settings at this point, you'll be taken to a screen where you can turn off this block. Simply tick the Unknown Sources option and this will allow you to install applications you haven't downloaded from the Google Play Market Store. Now, if you press the back button and then go to the Downloads icon in your app drawer, you will find the Flash application. If you press on it this time, you will be allowed to install it. So that's your guide to installing Flash. But it's not quite as simple as that, because if you go back to the website, it's still going to tell you that you can't load the media content because you haven't got the correct version of Flash. Well, the answer to that is you do have the correct version of Flash, but the Chrome web browser doesn't support Flash at all, so you're going to need a new web browser. There are plenty of free web browsers that do support Flash on the Samsung Galaxy S4, but in this example I'm going to download Boat Browser, which is available for free at the Google Play Market Store. Other browsers that support Flash currently include Firefox, Maxfon, Skyfire and Puffin, but I will include a link to a comprehensive list in the video description. So now we have Flash and a Flash supported browser, but as you can see we're not quite there yet. We have one thing left to do. Obviously this will be slightly different in different browsers, but generally what you need to do is go to the settings of a browser and then choose page settings. On this screen there is likely to be an option called Enable Flash Plugins. It's usually defaulted to off, so turn it on and then return to your web page. Once you've returned to your web page, refresh it, and now you should notice that the Flash content looks a lot more like it should do. Try using it and see what happens.
I think it's a very strong traditional name. I think it's probably in recognition to the Queen's father. So I think it'll be very popular amongst the royal family.
I think it's a great name. It's traditional. It's in keeping with...
There you have it, folks. Flash is working on your Samsung Galaxy S4. Just bear in mind that it's not always going to work perfectly on your phone. That's one of the reasons why it's dying a slow death. But it's not dead just yet. I take pictures, you take pictures, everyone takes pictures. But I don't take pictures of you. That would be a bit weird. Whatever the case, the gallery of the Samsung Galaxy S4 is likely to fill it with pictures very quickly. And these pictures will be sorted into different locations depending on what they are. Pictures taken with the camera, pictures from your SD card, and pictures from social media. But then there will be this strange section of photos that make you think, what on earth are they doing here? Well, these are all pictures on the internet from Picasa albums, basically stuff on services Google provides, and the telltale sign is this little Picasa symbol next to the picture. If you want to remove these, press the menu button whilst you're in the gallery and then select Content to Display. On the next screen, untick Content in Picasa, and when you return to the gallery, all the pictures will have magically disappeared. Now this won't delete the photos, they will still be out there on the internet from whenever you put them there in the first place, but at least they're no longer clogging up your gallery. If you have been watching my Samsung Galaxy S4 basic videos from the start, you will already know that if you swipe down from the top of the screen, you can see a bar of options that give you quick access to settings. You can even scroll this bar to see more options, and you can reorder this bar if you want to put more popular settings further up the list. But if you want immediate access to all your settings, simply swipe down from the top of the screen with 2 fingers to bring up this screen. So, put simply, a 1-finger swipe down for general notifications, a 2-finger swipe down for complete settings. It's another one of those cheeky hidden screens that's easy to use when you know how to find it. Have you noticed that when you press the home button on the Samsung Galaxy S4, there is a slight delay before you are returned to the home screen? It's maybe about a second or so. Well, I'm sure if you hadn't noticed before, you will now I've told you. The reason there is a slight delay is because the phone is waiting a little bit to see if you press the home button again. This is because if you double tap on the home button, it launches the S-Voice application. So if you would prefer to have a quicker home button response time rather than immediate S-Voice access, go to the settings in S-Voice and untick the Open via Home Key option. This disables the double press function of the home button, so now, whenever you press the home button, it should respond more quickly. It's only a small performance increase, but over the course of a couple of years, just imagine how many times you are going to press that button. Let's say each press saves half a second and you press the button 5,000 times. That's 2,500 seconds, which equals 41 minutes! The built-in media player on the Samsung Galaxy S4 has 2 nice little gesture controls that you'll probably never even notice unless I show them to you, of course. Now, if you tap in the middle of the screen, you'll get the usual play, pause and skip controls. But in addition to that, the sides of the screen are gesture hotspots. What I mean by that is, if you swipe up and down, you can control the screen brightness and the volume. For example, if I swipe down on the far left of the screen, I can reduce the brightness, and then swipe back up to increase the brightness. And the same principle applies for sound on the right side of the screen. Swipe up and down to control the volume. They're very simple gesture controls, but they make a world of difference. This is a short video on how to save power on your Samsung Galaxy S4 using the AVG antivirus application. By default, the trigger point for saving power is when the battery drops below 30%. At this point, a warning will appear in your notification in tray, so if you swipe down, you can see a message. The neat thing is, if you tap on this message, it will take you directly to some power saving options. The first thing you can do on this screen is set the threshold at when the phone should warn you that you are low on power. The four options being 10, 30 and 50% or completely off. You can save battery life by simply unticking any of these power draining options, such as Wi-Fi, GPS and automatic brightness. These settings will then come into effect whenever the power drops below your threshold. From this screen you can also see an estimate of how much charge your phone has left by pressing in the top left corner of the screen and then selecting the battery consumption option. This will break down your remaining battery time in different units such as talk time, audio playback, video playback and internet browsing. Now for more permanent battery saving options that are always on, go to the settings icon and then choose My Device. Scroll down until you see the power saving option. This is a feature that you can toggle on or off whenever you want, and it includes three features that restrict the CPU performance, lower the power level of the screen and turn off haptic feedback, which are those small vibrations when you press the back or menu button. Of course, there are plenty of battery saving applications out there to experiment with, so if AVG doesn't take your fancy, visit the Google Play Store for alternatives. Want to check your Samsung Galaxy S4 without even touching it? Here's how. One of the big things about the Samsung Galaxy S4 is that it has loads of motion sensors to watch what you are doing. To view these options, go to Settings, then select the My Device tab at the top of the screen and then choose Motions and Gestures. The option we want today is Air Gesture. So, first of all, toggle the option on and then press on the option itself to see more. The option you want here is Quick Glance, so make sure that's switched on and then lock your phone. From now on, when you wave your hand over the sensor, which is slightly to the left of the top speaker grill, this screen will display. It's important to note that while you can view the screen using this method, you can't press on the screen or unlock the phone as it automatically turns off again after a few seconds. As the option suggests, it is for a quick glance, so that you can see the time and any notifications you might have. This gesture control only really works when the phone is on a flat surface too, so just bear that in mind when you're trying to carefully set up a camera shot like this one. Perfect timing. Bored of the Samsung Galaxy S4 default lock screen message? Well, here's a guide on how to change it. To edit the message, all you need to do is display the lock screen and then press on the message itself and swipe down. You should see a border surround the message, and when you let go, at the bottom portion of the screen, a pencil icon will appear on the right side of the screen. Press on it and the keyboard will pop up and you can start editing your message. As you type your message, the text will automatically resize to fit on the screen, although the upper character length is what you see now, around about 25 characters. Additional options include changing both the font colour and background, as you can see being demonstrated here. You can also change the font type and remove the date and time if you wish, using the checkboxes to the right side of the screen. Once you've completed your changes, simply press the save button in the top right hand corner of the screen and you are done. So when you next go to unlock your screen, your new message will be displayed. This is a video floating on top of a website while I browse, and this is a guide on how to do it for your Samsung Galaxy S4. The floating video feature comes with a built-in media player on the Samsung Galaxy S4, so when you play a video, make sure that you are using the video player app. When a video is playing, if you tap on the screen you'll get the usual video player options, and it's this icon in the bottom right we're interested in. As soon as you tap that icon, the video will pop into its own floating window. The phone goes back into a normal routine so you can go to the home screen, send text messages and use applications, all while the video is happily playing to itself. If you tap on the video window you will pause the media currently playing. Tap the window again to restart it. The video functions in an always on top mode, so if you open up a web browser it's going to obscure content. At this point you might want to move it around the screen, and to do this you simply press, hold and drag. If you turn the phone to landscape, just like the application, the floating video will change orientation. And you can even resize the floating video using the standard pinch controls. And finally, if you want to make the video full screen again, simply double tap the floating window. Thanks for watching, and if you want more Samsung Galaxy S4 tips, subscribe to the VGJFelix YouTube channel. Want to make sure you never go over your mobile internet data allowance? Well, here's how to do it. No doubt when you purchased your Samsung Galaxy S4 and a mobile tariff, you will have been given a monthly internet data allowance. So the best thing to do is to create a safety net and cap your data usage. To do this, go to Settings and then on the Connections tab, choose the Data Usage option. When your phone is not connected to Wi-Fi and using that data, your phone will be connecting to your data carrier to use 3G, 4G or LTE data. The carrier data allowance can be 250 meg, 500 megabytes, 1 gigabyte and so on. It's important not to exceed this limit because if you do you might have to pay additional costs for more data usage. So on the data usage screen, first of all set the data usage cycle date on which your allowance will reset every month. Then you can use this table to adjust your data usage limits. The orange line sets a warning message. To illustrate this, if I set my data usage to 5 megabytes for the month, then once I exceed that, a warning message will display in my notification tray. The red line limit takes more drastic action. If you exceed the data usage on this red line limit, an on-screen prompt will tell you that data usage has been disabled and you will need to re-enable it, obviously at your own cost and risk. To adjust the limits, you can use the line as a slider, as I've previously demonstrated, or tap on the number itself to change the figure. Two final points: there are more comprehensive data usage applications available from Google Play, and do check your own tariff terms and conditions before using this feature. Worried about your phone's internet data usage going over its limit? Well, here's a quick data saving tip. Whether you're connected to Wi-Fi or out and about, your Samsung Galaxy S4 is always connected to the internet, and every day you'll be getting messages in your notification tray about applications being updated. This happens a lot and obviously uses up quite a bit of internet data. If you've got a fairly strict data limit on your phone contract, this might cause a problem. So with this in mind, go to the Google Play Store and press on the menu button on your phone and then select Settings. The specific option we're looking at in the settings is Auto Update Apps. When you select this, you will have three options. The default is usually Auto Update Apps at any time, and this is the option that will be burning up your data usage. So if you are concerned about this, I recommend using Auto Update Apps over Wi-Fi option, which will ensure that your phone will only update applications when it's connected to a Wi-Fi source. It's both cheaper and quicker. A pie chart. But how can this save you data usage? Applications use internet data, we all know this, but some use far more than they should do for no good reason. You can check what each application uses and you can stop it. Go to Settings and then choose Data Usage. If you scroll beyond the data usage graph, you can see a breakdown of exactly what each application uses in terms of internet data. If you press on an application, it will break down that usage into two parts, as illustrated by the pie chart: foreground data and background data. Foreground data is what you do when you use the application, but background data is all that sniffing around that happens when your device is locked and you're not using it. So if you want to stop it from doing this, simply tick the Restrict Background Data option. This means that that particular application only uses background data when it's connected to a Wi-Fi source, so it doesn't use up your data usage. The trade-off is that application may not work properly all the time. It's a trial and error process, so give it a go and see what works for you. Swipe the screen to unlock. Yep, I get that, so let's get rid of the message. By default, this message appears on your lock screen, but you only need to see it a couple of times before you understand what to do, after which it's a pointless message and it just clogs up your lock screen. So here's how to remove it. Go to Settings and then press the My Device tab. Then choose Lock Screen. In this screen you want to find the option that says Help Text. Uncheck that option and then lock your device. The next time you go to unlock your Samsung Galaxy S4, you'll find that the help message has gone. Another tiny tweak, of course, but it took me a few months to discover this, so I hope I can help you solve it in no time at all. Yep, VGJFelix is awesome, but how does my Samsung Galaxy S4 know this? Okay, a dead easy one today, folks. When you connect and share data between devices, it's best to change the default name of your device so you know it's yours. To do this, go to Settings, then press the More tab and then select the option at the bottom called About Device. The option you want is Device Name, so press on it, the on-screen keyboard will pop up and you can rename your Galaxy S4 to whatever you want. Once you've typed out your new name, press OK and that's it, job done. So the next time you connect to a device, through Bluetooth for example, your new device name will be displayed loud and proud. Yes, VGJFelix is well and truly awesome.